Let's do this exercise number 7.8. Chapter number 7. Example. It says 0 to pi by 4 integrate. 0 to pi by 4 integrate. Sine cube 2t. dt. Cos 2t dt. Put sine 2t equal to u, say, suppose. Now, as t tends to 0, u tends to 0. T tends to next to upper limit pi by 4, u tends to 1. So this becomes, and what about derivations? This is cos 2t dt equal to du. Here we have cos 2t dt. So 0 to pi by 4, that means 0 to 1, you should adopt these limits. 0 to 1, sine cube t is t cube. And this other thing is dt, just dt. And this works out to t power 4 by 4 and bracket limits 0 to 1. And this works out to 1 by 4 minus 0. If you put 0, it is 0. 1 by 4 answer. Now we will do exercise. Exercise 7.8. Says x plus 1 times dx. And what about limits? Minus 1 to 1. So this can be written as x plus 1, x squared by 2, plus if you integrate 1, you get only x. Minus 1 to 1. So this is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 minus the apply lower limit 1 by 2 minus 1. 3 by 2 minus this is plus half. It's 2 ones. Integration of 2 to 3 1 by x dx. If you integrate it, you get log x. Between limits 2 and 3, which is equal to log 3 minus log 2, which is equal to log 3 by 2 in so many ways we can write. 3. Integration between limits 2 to 3. Sorry, 1 to 2. 1 to 2. 4x cubed minus 5x squared plus 6x plus 9. This is the dx. X power 4 by 4, 4 times x power 4 by 4 minus 5 times x cubed by 3 plus 6 times x squared by 2 plus 9 times x. Limits 1 to 2. This is x power 4 minus 5x cubed by 3 plus 3x squared plus 9x. 1 to 2. X power 4, if you put 2, you get 16 minus 40 by 3 plus 12 plus 10. This is upper limit. This is if you apply this upper limit and minus lower limit apply. Instead of 16 we get to 1 minus 5 by 3 plus 3 plus 9. So this is the result. If you further simplify this, you get 33 minus 35 by 3 is equal to, 99 minus 35 by 3 equal to 64 by 3. Answer. Problem number 4. 0 to pi by 4 sine 2x dx. Come on, if you integrate sine 2x, you get minus cos 2x. 0 to pi by 4. So if you apply limits, minus cos pi by 2 plus cos 0 pi. 0 to pi by 4 cos 2x dx. This is sine 2x. You integrate 0 to pi by 4. So sine pi by 4 times 2 into pi by 4 is pi by 2 sine pi by 2. Sine 90 is 1 minus sine 0 is 0. This is 1 answer. What about 6? Pi. Integrate between limits 4 to pi e power x dx. If you integrate, you will get again e power x. Apply limits 4 to pi. That is e power pi, upper limit minus lower limit e power 4. E power 4 times e minus 1. You can write it anyway. This is also correct. This is also correct. What about 7? 0 to pi by 4 tan x dx equal to log. You can write this. If you integrate tan x, you get log secant x or minus log cos x. Between limits 0 to pi by 4. Pi by 4. And this works out to minus log 1 by root 2, that is upper limit, minus log cos 0 log 1, that is 0. So we have minus log 1 by root 2, which is also equal to log of 1 by root 2 to the power of minus 1 is log root 2. This is the answer. Or you can write log 2 power half, root 2 means 2 power half, which works out to half log 2. 8. 0 to pi by 6 to pi by 4. Cosecant x dx. So what happens if you integrate cosecant x dx? You get log cosecant x minus cot x. Of course, with the limits pi by 6 to pi by 4. So first we will apply pi by 4. Log of cosecant pi by 4. Then the cosecant 45. Sin 45 is 1 by root 2. Cosecant is root 2. minus cot pi by 4. That's 1. This is upper limit. Minus log pi by 6. Cosecant pi by 6. 2. Minus cot pi by 6. Cot pi by 6 means tan theta is 1 by root 3. This is root 3. You got this. So log A minus log B is log A by B. Log root 2 minus 1 by 2 minus root 3. This is the answer. Problem number 9. Integration of 1 by root of 1 minus x square under root. I has given a special function. Limits please 0 to 1. So if you integrate this, you get sine inverse x by a. A is 1. 0 to 1. Is sine inverse 1 minus sine inverse 0. This is pi by 4. I'm sorry, pi by 2 minus 0. That is pi by 2 answer. 10th problem. 0 to 1 dx by 1 plus x square. This is also a special function. Tan inverse x 0 to 1. It is tan inverse 1 minus tan inverse 0. This is pi by 4. And that is 0. This is the answer. Thank you for watching this video.